Savannah is one of the most beautiful cities in the Southeast. Most people who move here fall in love with it fast, but not every area is going to be for you. Right now, you might find yourself hours away from work or with a lifestyle that just doesn't fit at all. The good news is that we can fix that. Today, we're ranking the areas around Savannah from the best to the most challenging, and we'll be straight with you about the highlights and the trade-offs. Let's jump in.
For coastal living in the greater Savannah area, the islands take the top spot. We're talking about a collection of communities east of downtown. So Skidaway Island, Wilmington Island, Isle of Hope, Whitmarsh Island, not White Marsh, and Burnside Island. Locals just call all of them the islands, and once you spent time out there, you'll understand why. This is where you go if you want waterfront property and a coastal lifestyle that feels nothing like a typical suburb. You're looking at elevated architecture with big porches, dormers, raised foundations, homes built to sit above the ground and face the water. If you want a deep water dock with easy access to the intercoastal waterway, this is where you will find it. The most well-known community here is the Landings on Skidaway Island. This is a large gated master plan community with six championship golf courses, 2 deep water marinas, racket sports, and pools, just to name a small part of the amenities. Fun fact, golf carts are as common as cars out there, and dolphins surface in the nearby marshes often enough that it just becomes part of everyday life. Then Isle of Hope has a quiet village feel with Bluff Drive running right along the water. This street actually looks like a scene from a movie and is a great location for yearly family photos. We speak from experience. Wilmington Island sits right between downtown Savannah and Tybee Island, which is about as flexible of a location as you can find in this market. Price-wise, you're looking at the high 400s and up for Wilmington Island overall. Once you're talking about marshfront or deep water properties, you're well into the 700s and 800s for dock access, with true waterfront estates crossing into the millions. So that range climbs quite a bit once you add water access. And if you want more affordable options, don't worry, we'll get over those too. The person who ends up here really appreciates a higher end lifestyle. You'll find older families, retirees who are done with the cold and done with compromising, and buyers who've been patient about finding the right property. The Islands is also a family-friendly coastal community. If you want your kids to grow up where they are near the water with access to private schools and a pace of life that feels intentional, this is it.
Now, Richmond Hill tends to surprise people because it doesn't always show up on the radar the way that it should. It's the first coastal community south of Savannah, and it carries a genuine small town charm that's really hard to find in most fast-growing communities. You've heard us talk about Richmond Hill a lot on our channel. The rhythm of the town here is really based around the water. You've got Fort McAllister Marina with access to the Ogeechee River and the Intercoastal Waterway, along with a number of other public access marinas to give you plenty of options. Communities like Waterways with a deep water marina on site also gives you access to the best part about living on the coast. In addition to water access, you'll find walking trails, a fitness center, and even the on-site market and tavern where you can enjoy a drink after work. Boating on the weekends, kids playing sports, running into someone you know at Publix on Friday afternoon, that is Richmond Hill for you. It's also home to the most exclusive private residential community in all of Greater Savannah, the Ford Field and River Club. This is Henry Ford's former winter estate, and it's now a private club on the Ogeechee River with a Pete Dye designed championship golf course, a deep water marina, an equestrian center, and even an on-site spa. Richmond Hill is not just for luxury buyers though. There's a wide range of new construction options, and it's one of the fastest growing communities in the entire country. Actually, this area has seen around a 95% population growth since 2010, and this zip code is projected to keep growing through 2030. And if you are looking for a 55 plus community in the coastal Georgia corridor, Richmond Hill is really your only option. Del Webb Savannah is right here at Heartwood, and it's a brand new community that has homes that range from the $500,000 range on up, where you can choose everything that you want in your next home. For families with kids, Niche rates the Bryan County school system as an A- in the greater Savannah area. The median sales price is right at $400,000, with new construction in communities like Waterways and Heartwood starting in the low $400,000 mark. The prices climb well over $1 million for true waterfront properties though. And we'll go back to another underrated waterfront spot later on, so stay with us. One thing worth flagging, Richmond Hill is not really a Savannah address. If having that specific zip code matters to you, that's good to know going in. For most people making a move to this area though, the trade-off for that classic small town feel is worth it. Now, before we move on to the next tier, if any of this is starting to feel like homework for you, just reach out to us. We have helped so many families, retirees, and people moving all across the country find the right spot, and we would love to do that for you. Our contact information is in the description below. All right, let's keep going.
Midtown Savannah earns its spot in the great category because of one thing above all else: location. It sits just south of Savannah's historic district, giving you the best of what Savannah does well without the tourist congestion of the squares downtown. In Midtown, you'll find parks sprinkled among the wide streets, classic Savannah bungalows and craftsman-style homes, and a real neighborhood feel. The most sought-after pocket here is Ardsley Park, with its oak-lined streets and the kind of long-term value stability that comes from homes people genuinely love living in. Forsyth Park, one of Savannah's most iconic green spaces, is just minutes away. With its romantic Spanish moss draped streets, iconic fountain, weekend markets, and numerous community events, Forsyth Park is not only the most beautiful spot in Savannah, it's also one of the most active. The Starland District close by is also one of the spots you'll want to check out if you live here. It's got local restaurants, coffee shops, breweries, and art studios. Plus, SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, is a major cultural anchor in this part of the city, keeping the energy running year-round. For buyers who want historic character, walkability, and access to downtown without living in a tourist zone, Midtown is consistently one of the strongest answers. Pricing runs from the mid-300s for smaller homes to well into the seven figures for premium sections and stunning updated historic homes.
Next up, Pooler. Don't get us wrong, Pooler is great. And the reason it's not in the best category comes down to one word: traffic. It sits right at the intersection of I-16 and I-95, and it's basically the commercial and entertainment hub of the entire Savannah Metro. If you want to go shopping, you've got the Tanger outlets, Costco, Sam's Club, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Lowe's, Home Depot. I could keep going, but you get the drift. What about restaurants and entertainment? There's the new Dave & Buster's recently opened, bowling alleys, a farmer market, the world's tallest IMAX, and disc golf at Tom Triplett Community Park. And yes, you're gonna find all of that in Pooler. Savannah Hilton Head International Airport is here too, which matters more than most people think if you travel for work or if you have family who will come and visit you regularly. You also have several Chick-fil-A locations too. We are admittedly a little partial to our favorite Pooler Chick-fil-A. It's located directly across from Savannah Quarters in front of Costco. The city even has community events running through 2026, including Scottish Games, an Independence Day celebration, and a food festival. There's really something for everyone in Pooler. However, the trade-off is real. The I-16 and I-95 interchange and the roads around it during peak hours can turn a simple drive into a real test of patience. For buyers with flexible schedules or the ability to work from home, the traffic is manageable. For buyers with a strict commute window, spend some time driving the routes at various times of the day before you commit. Pricing here runs in the upper $300,000 range to the low $400,000s and upward. Pooler has seen sustained year-over-year price growth, which tells you that demand is still strong even with the traffic concerns. Before we talk about some of the other concerns though, let's go over some underrated spots that we have to mention.
The next two areas don't get nearly the attention they deserve. Berwick, for example, is a master planned community in Savannah that sits between downtown Richmond Hill and Pooler, and most people either drive right by it or never hear about it at all. It's the kind of place where, if you know, you know. You'd really have to seek it out in order to find it. What Berwick makes work is the combination of central location, a variety of price points, and established neighborhood infrastructure, plus the best ACE hardware in the area. You've got single-family homes and townhomes across multiple subdivisions with architecture ranging from traditional to more contemporary as well. The Enclave at Berwick is a gated community with ponds, a lagoon-style pool, tennis courts, and a clubhouse. Southbridge is nearby in the same corridor. It adds golf, tennis, and swim amenities to the package if that's something that you're looking for. People pass it up because it's not shiny and new, right? It doesn't have the waterfront lifestyle of the islands, and it doesn't have the walkable charm of Ardsley Park. So buyers tend to overlook it in favor of places that feel more obvious. But the proximity to I-16 and I-95 makes Berwick one of the most accessible areas in the metro for getting downtown quickly. And that's not something you can say about a lot of the suburbs further out, which we'll also talk about more later on. Pricing runs in the low $300,000 range for townhomes and smaller single-family homes and varies vastly based on the subdivision. Homes in the area are typically selling around 58 to 60 days on the market, meaning you don't really have to rush to pick your next home.
Moving south of Savannah along the I-95 corridor, you will find Midway, a coastal town in Liberty County. It's genuinely one of the most overlooked options for buyers who are seeking that coastal lifestyle without the price tag of the nearby island communities or Richmond Hill, and we're going to tell you why. The appeal is pretty simple. Larger lots, peaceful waterfront living, marsh views, Tidal Creek access, and a nature-forward pace of life at a price point that's much lower than what you'll pay closer to town. Communities like Isle of Wight and Yellow Bluff give you that private Tidal Creek and Deepwater access without the price tags that you'll find further north. The area has a deep historical roots that go all the way back to the American Revolution with preserved historic district and a museum in town. So it's quiet in a way that some people find extremely appealing and others may find limiting. That's exactly why it lands in the underrated category. Now, before you fall too far in love with it, though, you do need to know this. Midway is in Liberty County, and Liberty County carries some of the highest property tax rates in the greater Savannah area. That's a big difference in your monthly ownership costs, and it should factor into your budget before you make an offer on a home. Speaking of budget, data shows in this zip code that we have a median sales price in the low $300,000 range, making this coastal community accessible and affordable. Midway is also roughly 30 to 45 minutes from central Savannah, and local commercial options are limited as well. The primary grocery option in town is the IGA, and most people choose to travel to Richmond Hill for their shopping needs. In fact, you're way more likely to get your eggs on the side of the road than at the grocery store in Midway. If you're fine with driving for your errands in exchange for peace and quiet that you cannot find closer to the city, Midway is genuinely a great trade-off. If that sounds frustrating to you, it's worth being honest with yourself before you buy.
We're moving into the challenging category now, and we want to be clear about what that means. These areas have many great things going for them. There are simply trade-offs that every buyer deserves to know about before they get too deep into their search. Now we're going to talk about Hinesville. It is home to Fort Stewart, the largest Army installation east of the Mississippi River. It covers nearly 280,000 acres across multiple counties. This means there is a strong military community here. Over the past several years, the area has seen significant commercial development with national retail chains and restaurants that you wouldn't have in this area even just 5 years ago. You'll enjoy Ulta, TJ Maxx, World of Beer, Dick's Sporting Goods, and more restaurants than we really can even name during this video. So what we're saying is you don't have to drive all the way to Savannah for dining and shopping. Two factors push Hinesville into the challenging category for most buyers though. The first is distance. Hinesville is roughly 40 to 45 miles from downtown Savannah. And with traffic, that commute can run 50 minutes to well over an hour. For anyone that needs to get into the city regularly, that's a real burden and it compounds over time. You'll see this is kind of similar to the next area that we're going to talk about. The second is property taxes. We've already touched on this briefly. Hinesville also sits, like Midway, in Liberty County, which carries, again, some of the highest property tax rates in the entire area. Midway offers the coastal lifestyle to offset the downside of taxes, while Hinesville presents retail opportunities and convenience. Local MLS data shows the median sales price sits around $250,000. For buyers where price point is the primary driver, especially active duty military already stationed at Fort Stewart, Hinesville makes obvious sense. For everyone else, the distance and the tax rate are two things we'd want you to really sit with before you decide. Which brings us to the next area.
Rincon is in the challenging category for one primary reason, Highway 21. It's a more rural inland city about 20 to 25 minutes northwest of Savannah in Effingham County. The real estate is genuinely affordable with larger lots and more land than you'll find closer inland. We often tell clients that as you move inland away from the coast, the dirt is less expensive, and Rincon delivers on that. When traveling to and from Savannah, Highway 21 is the main entry and exit point, and during rush hours, it can feel honestly severe and unpredictable. A normally 30-minute drive can easily become an hour or more depending on when you leave. That unpredictability makes it a real challenge for residents who need a quick and consistent access point to Savannah for work or just daily life. You should also know that Rincon is not coastal. It's further inland, away from Savannah, away from the marsh, away from the water, away from that low country feel that draws so many people to this region in the first place. But bonus, they don't have sand mats.
It's true.
We wouldn't say that Rincon is necessarily in the country, but you're well on your way there. For buyers who genuinely want that feeling, Rincon is a great place at a price point that's really hard to find closer to a major metro. MLS data shows that the median sales price in Rincon is around $320,000. So if you're looking for affordability, that is something that you will definitely be able to find here.
8 areas, 4 tiers, and a real honest look at what the greater Savannah market area has, depending on what you are looking for. The right fit comes down to matching your lifestyle, your budget, and your priorities to the right community. And we can absolutely help you with that. Our team has been helping people buy and sell here since 2020, and we've been doing it for even longer. So if any of these areas spark something for you, call or text us at 912-581-2095 right now. We can go over your budget and your lifestyle desires to find the perfect spot. And if you want to go deeper into this market and find new spots to explore, subscribe to our channel. We have so much more coming your way. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and we'll see you in Savannah.